Sup? I have an interesting knife here that has no name. Yeah, no labels, no names. And it spins pretty good. But let's get it out of here because how much can you talk about nothing? You don't know nothing about nothing. But wow, look at this piece. Man, I am excited to get this knife. Look at this thing. Titanium and then Damascus steel bolsters and Damascus steel blade. Look at this thing, man. Oh, wow. And then I believe steel liners. I'm not sure. We'll have to check into all of that. But man, look at this thing. That's going to need some help for sure. Not much tension there. Look at this jimping. Yeah, you know I'm a big fan of jimping, but this might be the first jimping ever where I feel like it's too much. Because I like aggressive jimping, but that may be too much. Let me see if I can get some kind of name on this. Okay, so this is a sand dash zero three. There's a sand dash zero one and dash zero two. This is the zero three. The sand dash zero two has 10 CR steel, not the Damascus, but it also has this is some pretty specific Damascus steel. Let me tell you what it is. Okay, it is a interesting Damascus steel in that it's a combination of RWL 34 and PMC 27 steel. And what's interesting about that is that Damascus has been around for a minute, and Riyadh has used it. It does have some good reviews. People say good things about it. The combination is tough. It's got great stainless capabilities. It polishes really nice. And yeah, I mean, I can't find anything bad about it. What I have found is good. And I mean, the fact that Riyadh has used it kind of says something. I mean, known for a quality knife and a solid product. Yeah. I mean, golly, look at this thing. Let's get rid of the distractions here. Yeah, and as far as the manufacturer, all I can see is Sand03. Nice action. Try that Spidey flick. Yep. Thumb flick. Thumb stud. Yep. Spidey flick off of that thumb stud. Yeah, really snappy. Nice action. It's got a front flipper here. Yep. And I just saw it. It's got a really subdued back flipper. That's the way back flipper should be done, in my opinion. Let's see what that does. Yeah, come on. Wow. Just a lot going on here. What a over the top kind of piece, man. But normally you get over the top and it starts to cross over into bizarre or whatever. This one's hinging on that. This is hefty, and it surely can be in no small part to having these big Damascus steel bolsters on there. I'm not necessarily against a bulky knife, though. But man, is that jimping? I mean, you want jimping? This knife got jimping. Yeah, wonderful action. I'm 90% sure that this piece comes out of Yangjiang. You know, the Chinese folding knife capital of the world. Um, That is a mysterious place, man. Like trying to connect the dots on the manufacturer, the branding is very difficult in there. This is not a laminate. This is like legit. You can see the layers all the way through this blade. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up here, but you can see it all the way through. Wonderful polishing job done on there as well. And, you know, I've spent some extra time on the aesthetics of this piece, but it's a big part of it. Yeah, what a beautiful, interesting knife. Yeah, well, let's get in it. Come on. And I'm definitely, you know what? I'm going to check this pocket clip before we go that far. Let's get it on the front end. I want to check that lock. Yeah, the lock works wonderful. Looks like we're maybe 30% locked up here. It's got some kind of, I didn't even really notice, but there's no hardware. What a interesting design feature. And what's making me think that, or think about it, is there's some kind of screw down in there. And I'm guessing that's to hold it together in the back. Well, that'll be interesting. And then I can see that the pocket clip is screwed down with the screw down inside there. Wow. Yeah. How about a pocket? I mean, it is a long, tall Sally of a pocket clip. That thing goes way down in there, but very smooth. And I'm thinking on standard jean size material, just not enough tension. We're gonna put a little tension. Like it's on there, but it'd easily come out of that pocket. There it is. Yeah. So I don't know that we'll ever get this to be wonderful just because of the nature of this. The length of it, it's going to be hard to get good tension. But then the contact patch is smooth and the scale is smooth. Now it's got like a bead blast texture to it. It's not completely smooth, but it's not going to grip enough to hold this substantial weighted knife in a pocket. You know, running or tumbling, this knife's going to come out. I don't think I can fix this, but we'll take a look at it. All right, now we're going to get in. Looks like a T8 here. Yeah. And it's going to have to be on lockdown because this side isn't machined. So let's see what happens here. If anything. I mean, it definitely released tension on the front of the knife. I think I'm going to have to go in and loosen that screw down in there because I don't see any, like this is loose up here, but it's not giving me nothing. And that's definitely a machined torque screw down in there. I'm going to say a T6. This may be one of the few, but man, it's handy to have a regular torque because there's no way I'd be able to get a screwdriver in there. Yep. Interesting. It was tight. Still tight. I'm not sure that I'm making progress there. I'm not sure that that broke loose if it didn't just skip. I might have another option here. Let me see. All right, let's see if this will get down in there. Yep. That does not want to come loose, man. And I do think all of this is titanium. I think the liner's titanium. It is. So the liner's titanium. The scales are titanium. The only thing that's steel is the Damascus steel. Yeah. But I don't. If I can't get that loose, I don't think I can get in this knife. I think this has to come loose. That is not cooperating at all. That does not want to come loose. And oh, I so bad want to get in this knife. Let me try. Let me try something else. Give myself a little bit more torque here. I feel like it might be turning. Or it might just be turning my bit. I'm not sure. Oh no. And I may be breaking off more than I can chew here. Now it's definitely coming. Cause can I put it back? I don't know. I might just end up with some parts and pieces here. Yeah. Look at that. That absolutely freed that knife. So that one screw goes through. Let me take this blade off. That screw goes up through this piece that is mounted to that scale, that titanium scale, and then it locks down on the backspacer, holding that together back there. Wow. Wow. Interesting. And so all that creates a screwless look. And the backspacer is locked down on here. I don't see anything holding the bolsters on. unless they're glued on. I mean, what's going on? Yeah, it's got a steel insert into the titanium frame. I mean, the only question left is, do the bolsters come off? That's the only thing hovering at this point. I am going to pull the pocket clip to see if I can put a little tension on it. I believe it's titanium pocket clip as well. Oh, yeah, that's not wanting to come. I mean, dude. Well, and I felt that release. I think it's already been bent with a mountain of tension. Unfortunately, with the length of that and the thinness of material, it had a ton of Loctite on it. I don't know that I can get it much better. It's recessed into that titanium scale. I mean, obviously, all I'm going to do is try to put some bend in it, create some tension, and then I could file this and put some crosshatch, which would help hold material. You can see where it's resting on that scale right there. It's got a little rub mark. I think I may do that on this knife. Like, it's underneath there, it'd never be seen, but boy, it would go a long way to helping this pocket clip get a grip on material. Because right now, the clip, its only function is just to hang the knife in the pocket. It's not holding the knife in at all. So I do think I'll work on that, and I'll show you that. Lots of Loctite on there. Yeah, so now that I'm looking, I think there's a screw. This one screw is holding the bolster on. So let's see if that'll come out without a lot of fight. Yeah, so it's going to be the same on both sides. It's got one screw that's holding that Damascus bolster on, and yeah, that's a substantial piece, but there is a lot of titanium here. This isn't super heavy. I almost am going to say that this weighs the same as this. I'm going to weigh it just to see, but yeah. Whew. I mean, what a lot. There is a lot going on here, man. And there's oil underneath there, so I do want to try to get this one out and just to wipe it down. I think I'm going to try a new bit. That bit's still fine, but I'm going to get a brand new bit. Yeah, and there's a little bit of oil under there too. So, okay, I think we're apart. Got a lot of stuff taken apart here. I am not going to use this to put all that back together, so I can move some stuff on. I'm going to take that new bit out. I'm going to put this one back in. And I won't be needing that because I'll be able to use this bit here. And that one goes here, which I don't need for the pivot. All right, good grief. Let's wipe everything down. Man, what an interesting piece. Just a lot going on. Huge, big donkey slabs of titanium here, and they are knocked down and milled wonderfully. Very soft feel on all of it. Went to great lengths to refine these scales, finish them off. The backspacer, even this edge, everything's knocked down really nice on this. And I'll kind of cheat here. The price point on this is not unreasonable. Not at all. Already seeing what I see here, yeah, there's nothing unreasonable about this knife at all. It's over the top cool and interesting, and yet the price isn't. What a cool piece. So much so that, I think that this would normally go straight over to Timber's Edge and be offered up over there. But I don't know. This thing's unique enough that, I don't know, kind of like the Yangjiang pieces that I've been picking up. And the Finch knives, it's unique enough that it's calling my name. Now, I do think I have another one of these coming. The Sand 02, which is the same exact knife, except the steel is 10 CR. Yeah. But it's got the same bolsters, all that. And then the Sand 01, it looks like it has titanium bolsters, so the weight should be down on it. And that's something I could probably check into. I could probably check into that weight. I'm going to try to put a couple of lines on the backside of this real quick. Okay, so let me share what I'm doing. I've got one of my little diamond files here, and it's got a sharp edge. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting a tiny little crosshatch pattern on the flat of that, and I'm going to put a couple of more on here. It's nothing you'll ever see, but I can tell you that I can already feel it. Like if I run my finger across that, I can feel that. Yep. Doesn't, it's not like, combat jimping or nothing like that, but I can feel there's a texture there, and so it may help this pocket clip. It's a tiny little thing, but yeah, there's texture there now. Mm-hmm. Getting a little more aggressive with it. I mean, if I'm going to do it, and the nature of this knife to take it apart, I kind of want to, I'd rather overdo it, make it a little too grippy than not enough. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely feel that in there now. Okay. Maybe try, some of these little files are kind of like knife edge, like this one. I'm going to try it. Let's see what it does. Now, it's not the most attractive thing, but, you know, here again, it's on the bottom side of a pocket clip. Put it in your pocket 2 or 3 times and, you know, it's marred up. Who's ever looking at the bottom side of a pocket clip, man? You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, there we got it. I mean, it's got some grip to it now. Let's see. So you can't see it from the side profile, either side or the top. It's just going to be down on the material. But yeah, that is way grippier. All right. Well, hopefully we resolve that. We're going to find out. We're going to test that. Man, I dig that dude. He's awesome. All right. Well, what's first? I think these bolsters, right? Like they go back on. Those screws lock them down. Should be able to catch everything with this bit here. Yeah, it went in a whole lot easier than it came out. And I definitely put it on lockdown. I don't want to, like, once I put that screw up in there, you know, I need everything to stay tight for sure. Faux show. There we go. Man, I mean, what a cool piece. All right, let's get the pocket clip on. I really got to catch my bearings here, make sure I get all this together. That's that up screw. It was this one right here. So you all know that I have a daughter. Oh yeah, ton more tension on there. Who is a wrestler, and the day of this video, recording this, President Trump signed into law that boys can no longer compete in girls' sports. And man, what a glorious day that is. What a moronic thing that was. Has my daughter wrestled boys? Yeah. Do they beat on her? I can tell you this, that for my daughter, she's wrestles 100 pounds, 105 pounds, 110 pounds in that neighborhood. So let's use 110 pounds for an example. 110 pounds of 16 or 17-year-old girl is absolutely no match for 110 pounds of 16 or 17-year-old testosterone fueled boy. No way, no how, no day, ever, nada. The bone density, the muscle structure, the and is it even something that needs to be talked about? Like, who, any of y'all watching, like, don't understand that on a fundamental level? It's just such a bizarre thing to me. I can't get my head around where that even comes from. Like, the argument. And to think that a 20-year-old biological boy can just roll into the girls' locker room and drop his junk in front of these girls. It's insane to me. And it's insane to me how Title IX turned into a a man's protection when it was 100% designed to protect girls. It's stunning to me. But today's a good day. Here's my problem with it. You'd think that, by changing these things, that somehow people are saying, well, we've come to our senses. It's an age of common sense and blah blah. No, it ain't, because the people that were fighting for that are still fighting for it. They, it's not like signing this law and now people have come to their senses. That hasn't happened. No, not at all. The argument remains. Stunning, man. Just stunning. And to be clear, man, I ain't against nobody. Even people that come against me, like, you want to come in here and come against me, by rights, I can tell you that the way that I live, I'm not even against you, man. So it's not about being against those people. It's being for my daughter. Being for a girl. And there's a huge difference. And I know it wants to get painted that it's being against somebody. No, it ain't being against anybody. It's being for these girls. These girls don't want that. And it's not fair to them on any level. And anybody who thinks so has lost their marbles. It's almost like they don't teach biology anymore. Like, people don't know simple facts of nature. Testosterone and bone density and muscle mass. And I can tell you, wrestling family, these things are not debatable. Like, we know girls can compete with boys, and through the age of 12, 13, do incredibly well against boys. Can go out and win, titles and compete legitimately against boys. But man, once that testosterone kicks in, it becomes a 1%er environment. Like, 1% of girls can compete in that environment. And that 1% sometimes is used as the baseline, and they are not. They are the exception to the rule. A 17-year-old girl competing for a high school boys state championship, they are the exception. They are not the rule. They are 1% exception. 99% of girls will not compete in that environment. Man, what am I going to do here? How does this work? That screw doesn't appear to be magnetic. Well, it is magnetic, so it's just my bit. I need a good magnetic bit driver. Let's try here. I just had that little thing. There it is. Yeah, I mean, I know I'm off on a rant, but it's a good day. You know, I'm not very political. I kind of believe that all politicians are dirty, and as citizens or whatever people, we gotta look out for our own interests. Keep things on an even keel. The minute you go too far in either direction, right or left, up or down, whatever, you run the risk of being bamboozled. Because I can tell you that one thing I know for an absolute fact is that absolute power corrupts absolutely. Money and power does it across the board. It don't discriminate. It'll catch anybody and everybody at the blink of an eye. Golly, I wish I could get a newer bit to run that, because I definitely want it tight. So my rant isn't about politics. My rant is about doing what's right by our girls. I mean, this thing is solid, solid. Whew. All the fit and finish of this thing. And I know this is a marathon, but I mean, it's so unique that it deserved a little attention. Yeah. And I got on a rant. And that. Let's get rid of all this. That. This. There we go. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, so hey, just so I don't leave that rant hanging, it is a good day for girls' sports and for girls' rights overall. And I'm not against anybody, man. And if there's need to have another league for people that are in between or in on the fringe, whatever, well then do that. But to just step on one people's rights to give somebody else, that makes no sense whatsoever. And there was nothing right about any of that. Forcing that on high school girls or college girls, insane. Amateur athletics, I mean, stunning. But we'll see where it goes now. I'm sure there's already litigation to fight it, which is just stunning. It's like, what's the argument? To heck with those girls. Those girls' rights don't trump this boy's rights who feels like a girl. What? It makes no sense, man. But anyways, I'm happy for it. Glad to see it. And yeah, my rant. This thing is solid as a rock now, and wonderful. Let's talk about this action. I mean, I'm gonna have to say it's an A. Is it an A minus or an A plus? I mean, I'm gonna give it an A, a solid A. I'm not even sure why a solid A and not an A plus, because it is just everything on it just runs wonderfully. The feeling, it's built like a tank. I mean, how everything comes together, it's stunning. Let's talk about the ergonomics, the grip. Not so confident, confident, very confident. I mean, it's going to come up and just be shy of a confident grip because there's not a true finger guard here. Like they've created this recess, and then of course the jimping. I mean, you try to push past this jimping, you will cut yourself. You'll be in the emergency room because man, is that sharp. You can't get past it. I mean, it's unnecessarily sharp. So much so that I mean, it wouldn't be unreasonable to take a tiny file like you could saw wood with that. That's what that's designed for. You could definitely saw wood with it's that kind of jimping. It's a saw jimping. It's not really fingered. This is jimping. This is a saw, but your thumb goes right up on it and it does lock in. So, I mean, just shy of a confident grip, and it is comfortable. It's not uncomfortable to be right here. Reverse grip, yeah, wonderful reverse grip. It leans away from the thumb, so very comfortable. The pocket clip gets under the finger, so creates a really strong grip there. And yeah, I can get here and kind of the thumb go over the back like so. And this is a strong, powerful grip here. Yeah, can do it. Moment of truth. Let's check that pocket clip. You thought you were going to get a knife review. Instead, you got politics. You got some rant. That's all right. Well, that thick stuff's going to be a challenge because man, I've got some tension on that clip now, and so I'm going to run it in standard jean size material. And yeah, it's grippy now. I think that it would hold in the pocket. It's challenging. I mean, it's a good look. It's got, maybe a quarter of an inch sticking out of the pocket, big, long pocket clip, and I think it'll shake out. Yeah, I mean, it held through quite a bit of shaking, so it's improved. I mean, I'll give it an okay. It's that kind of okay. It doesn't have retention in the pocket like I like retention. If the knife had a weak spot, that's probably one of them is the pocket clip. It's not going to hold the knife in the pocket through a lot of turbulence. Let's put it that way. But it's functional now. I did modify it though. Keep that in mind. I put a lot of tension on it, and I cross hatched it. Um, Now, sharpness. Got two things left. How sharp is it? Wonderfully sharp. And then the last thing, how much are these? So let's talk price. The Sand 03. Okay, the Sand dash 03. So these are being sold on eBay by the sixleaf sellers. There's sixleaf dash LI, and then there's another one that's a number. It's like 422 something on eBay. And they're both selling this knife. Also, I'm seeing this knife on AliExpress. Yeah, so I did find this on AliExpress, and they're right around $80. I mean, come on. That's a great price for this. If you get the one that's in VG10, it still has the Damascus or titanium bolsters. You can pick these up for. It looks, all in all, these look like they're in the $60 to $80 range, depending on which version you find. Now, I did see some of these on eBay go for over $100. So I don't know about all that, but man, when you're in the $80 range, what a cool piece for $80, man. Yep. And there's a couple of high end versions. I don't know who the OEM is, but there's some versions that the full scale is Damascus, and it looks like around $300. M390 steel versus the VG10 or this RWL Damascus. Yeah, pretty cool piece, man. Sand03. Appreciate y'all watching. I mean, I like these neat, cool pieces. See ya.